Welcome, folks. Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports for the latest presentation of our NBA basketball. Kevin Harlan here alongside Greg Anthony and Chris Webber. DA David Aldridge is on our sideline. Now the opening lineup for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Muscala is out there with Horford. And there's Hill. And it's Trevor Ariza. And it's Gilgeous-Alexander in at the shooting guard. And for the Lakers, LeBron James is out there with LeBron James. And it's LeBron James. And there's Davis. And it's James in at power forward. And so the Los Angeles Lakers get the first points of the ballgame. And there's the call on James. That is his first foul of the game. Greg, obviously we're early on here. We already have seen some second-year players looking much more improved over the rookie year.
I mean, if you put in the work, you're not guessing as much. And listen,
oh, look at him fly!
Love how fierce James is, a ferocious dunk artist.
Now, here's Gilgeous-Alexander. He's coming off a 25-point game against Dallas. Sinks that one from the post.
Oh, don't forget about this fella for a second. He is the definition of dangerous.
Back to James. And James throws it down hard.
Excellent court awareness. James has always had terrific instincts as a playmaker.
And now, just over a minute played here in the first. On the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin. Well, I was able to talk with Oklahoma City's head coach for just a minute. Tonight's game marks the first contest against LeBron and the Lakers this season. Coach is well aware how tough the matchup can be, saying, it's not about LeBron and Davis, well, just LeBron and Davis. They have a great supporting cast that knows how to complement the stars. We have to be sharp to come away with this one. And he's smart to acknowledge the great role players on this Lakers team. Guys?
Okay, David, much appreciated. Hill passes to Muscala. Now, here's Gilgeous-Alexander. A couple years ago, after making all-rookie second team, we knew Gilgeous-Alexander was good. But Greg, last season, he went from good to great.
I mean, how about almost doubling his scoring average? Became a tremendous rebounder out of the backcourt. He gives you assists and picks up steals as well. Once he gains more strength, this guy could be a perennial all-star.
And James throws it down.
You give James a lane to the basket, he's going to dunk it hard. Amazing watching him just glide through the air.
For the Lakers, they won their last contest, that game against the Mavericks in Dallas. And Gilgeous-Alexander, here we go. Basket good.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
Yeah, very little resistance. I mean, you have to bring much faster help than that.
I love the ball movement there. He put that on a silver platter, just served him up.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Thunder. They come into this one following the loss to the Mavericks.
Well, I felt like they were never on the same page defensively in that one. Gave up way too many easy shots.
They just appeared lost out there. I mean, it seemed like they were scrambling on the defensive end of the floor.
Basket counts. Los Angeles leading by 4. LeBron drives in.
And then James is like a freight train moving to the rim. He's so effective at getting the D to hit him when he's on the attack.
Lakers shooting their first shots from the free throw line tonight. Jackson is checked in for the Thunder. And James drills them both. And Gilgeous-Alexander's got the ball here for Oklahoma City. And the rejection by James.
Oh, you got to be cautious around James. He's always on the hunt to swat away shots. Defense in your rear view may be closer than they appear.
And that was another look at the aggressive D that led to the mobile 1 block.
And early in a game, these sorts of plays really can set the tone. And they've done a nice job controlling the defensive backboard to start this game.
James finds James. James looking around. Lets it go from 11. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
Thunder trailing by 8. Here's Dort. 9 points last game out. Beasley passes to Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh, he did everything right there except hit the shot.
James. Good, and the assist goes to LeBron. James has got 3 assists tonight.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
James against Gilgeous-Alexander. Kicks it to Jackson. To the inside. And they call the foul, so a chance at the line for one more coming up.
And giving up some inches inside, but makes up for it with an aggressive style.
Yeah, it's the attack mindset. I mean, that helped him prevail right there. Sometimes you just got to go with your gut.
Here's James, and James throws it down.
I like the intensity from James, using his speed to knife toward the rim.
Thunder trailing by 9. Left side, Gilgeous-Alexander.
Credit to D for not giving up on that play. He's a tough cover down low.
Davis kicks to James. The second chance effort. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City.
He's not an easy man to stop when he's attacking the basket. The D doing everything it can.
Dort passes to Jackson. And a wide open look for Gilgeous-Alexander. Off target from three-point range. And they're scoring pretty well as we conclude the first quarter. Lakers lead by 9. And so far through one quarter, it's been a lopsided game. We'll see if that changes here in the second. And taking a look at the Lakers' performance here, what have they been doing or not doing in the game?
Yeah, in that first period, they looked to push in transition at every opportunity.
With the game being fast-paced these days, you can expect this from a lot of teams, but they did it very well.
So for Oklahoma City right now, they've got Hill, and it's Dort in at the 2.
Challenging the bigger defender, cutting him down to size with that one.
Oh, that's a tough, tough shot. I mean, you have to have confidence in your abilities to even take it.
James outside. Passes it to James. Some nice passing here by Los Angeles. Just 5 to shoot. The drive by James.
Powerful presence on the court. It's hard to match James' strength inside.
Thunder trailing by 9.
And as he's aged in the league, Anthony Davis's offense has changed. It now much more of a face-up player.
And that's where his game's been headed. His shot has improved, and he can step out to the 3, facing up and letting him use his burst. Lets him maximize what he can do.
Time called here. The Thunder decide to talk it over. Greg, in New York, you obviously played in a number of championship contending teams. What do the Knicks have to do to get back to that feel, that kind of team?
Well, listen, it starts with stability across the board, but mainly that means at the top. And you got to give this new front office, this new regime an opportunity. I think they've got some good young pieces, but title contenders are not in a constant state of flux right now. They've got to take their baby steps here and start moving in the right direction.
Like you say, it does begin in the front office. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sideline.
Hey, Kevin, we know that for years the NBA has thought about a postseason play-in tournament to get more teams and fans involved. Last year's pandemic stoppage basically necessitated its implementation. For the NBA, the disruption of business as usual enabled innovation and risk-taking. I don't want to be too hoity-toity, but it was Albert Einstein who once said, "In the midst of every crisis lies great opportunity." Guys, back to you.
You're right. Thank you, David.
Offensively, defensively, they are in total control.
Starting to take over here, building a big lead that could ultimately prove insurmountable.
And dropping the sledgehammer there, he curbs a 10-0 run by the Lakers.
The drive by James.
And this offense is in a perfect rhythm, and you can see how they're finishing their plays.
Yeah, right now it feels like they can't miss. We'll see how long they can make this last.
And the rejection by James.
You got to be cautious around James. He's always on the hunt to swat away shots. Defense in your rear view may be closer than they appear.
Way to attack there and then create the contact.
And the Thunder making a switch here. Gilgeous Alexander's checked in. Thunder trailing by 19. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
And the pass to Muscala. 1:58 left to play here in the second quarter. Here's James. Oh, and the jam by LeBron.
LeBron is so powerful. Amazing how he maintains focus even with the D draped all over.
There's a minute 47 left now here in the second. Knocks it loose. Pass to Muscala. Here's Ariza. There's 3-pointers off the mark. Los Angeles leading by 19 points. And that one goes out of bounds. Pass touched by Gilgeous Alexander. Let's give a look now at the 2K leaderboard to see who led the league in assists last year. LeBron James, number 1. LeBron James, second.
And really two terrific distributors. I mean, the first thing you look for in a teammate is the ability to get you the ball, and they both have that down to a T.
Justin Jackson, he's checked in for Trevor Ariza. Jackson against LeBron. Jackson down low.
Defense just not strong enough to throw him off his shot there. Sometimes it takes a little more effort to defend him down low.
James kicks to James. Good, and the assist goes to James. LeBron's got 4 this quarter.
And not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close.
Hill drives in. That shot, no good. And here's Los Angeles. They're on an 18-6 run. LeBron, no luck. And Horford will bring it up for the Oklahoma City Thunder. 19-point game. Following this one, they get to host the Pelicans. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again. And finished off by LeBron.
Whether he's driving, posting up, firing from deep, you know LeBron has it all. It's been a fantastic evening for him.
Well, Thunder have gone 5 of 12 from the field here in the second. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. And it's Hill penetrating. Oh, and he pops it off the glass. Wow. Nice break. The Lakers. LeBron with the ball.
You got to stay on James in transition. If you give him room to run, he jumps all over you.
Here's Gilgeous Alexander. Nice form on the 20-footer. Gilgeous Alexander's got 12 points in the game. James with a deep 3. And no luck with that time on the buzzer beater. 8.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Boy, a lot of energy in this arena. LeBron James putting in some incredible work. He ended up with 22 points. That about wraps it up. Time now.
And as we dive into the second half, we'll find out if the next 2 quarters are any different from the first 2. So far, it has been a runaway. What can you say, LeBron James? What an impressive effort today.
And how about the amount he's contributing in the scoring column? Through 2 quarters, he has been terrific.
This game has his fingerprints all over it. Now looking to replicate what he did in the first half.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. Taking a look at Los Angeles. LeBron James is out there with LeBron James. And it's LeBron James. And it's LeBron James. And it's Davis at the 5.
And he's so skilled at finding ways to get to the line. Davis staying aggressive and going at the D.
Lakers shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
Numbers last year for them, just about 73%, so the bottom third of the league.
It's Ariza on the wing. Good, the assist goes to Hill. Ariza's got himself going there, his first points of the game on the deep ball.
And Trevor Ariza, a different player now than he once was, but during his prime, he was as athletic as anybody on the floor.
You can say that again, Jay. And he's done a good job adjusting his game as he's grown older. He went from mostly a slasher to a 3-and-D player. I mean, it's allowed him to have a lengthy career.
Gilgeous-Alexander passes to Ariza. No good with the triple. Lakers leading by 20. LeBron drives in. Count that as his 7th field goal in 9 tries. He's shooting 78%.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City.
And LeBron James still the face of the league as he goes into his mid-30s. The impact he's had on this sport is really immeasurable.
Come on, Jay. I mean, he's one of the most recognizable athletes in the world. I mean, it's scary to think that LeBron can still turn it on and take over when he needs to. And you know what? Playoff LeBron is a very real thing. And he's just not going to give up. I mean, if he has to do it all by himself, well, that's what he's going to do.
The drive by James, and that one drops. LeBron's got his 3rd basket of the night.
Those defenders just look a little bit gassed. I mean, they're getting pushed around on that low block.
Beasley passes to Dort. To the middle, here's Gilgeous-Alexander.
Now flying high and throwing it down with the one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys. Here's Dort. He has 5. Ariza passes to Beasley, and the layup's good off the glass.
That's their 3rd straight make off an assist.
Lakers leading by 18. And they double up LeBron. And James gets it to go on the assist by LeBron. James has got his 7th assist here tonight. They double him with LeBron. Ariza against James. A rebound by the Lakers.
Still plenty of time for him to contribute in this game, but it's a tough stretch he's going through.
Here's LeBron, and LeBron throws it down.
James is effective at getting near the basket. Always look to dunking it home.
Oklahoma City's gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. Pass to Dort. Back to Gilgeous-Alexander. And it goes down 2 points. 18 points for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Greg, you really began to emerge and got on the national scene at UNLV, but you started your college career at Portland where you were actually named the Conference Freshman of the Year.
Yeah, how about I actually averaged more points in Portland than any season I played in Vegas. Totally different roles, but Portland's always going to have a sweet spot in my heart. My first child was born in the great city of Portland.
Gilgeous-Alexander lays it up and in off the pretty assist. Gilgeous-Alexander's got 20.
Largely because of that limp, Gilgeous-Alexander feeling confident attacking inside.
He does all the little things. I mean, he does the big things. I mean, he's got them in front with another outstanding performance.
Gilgeous-Alexander against James.
And when he's on the floor, offensive rebounding is always going to be a strength for them.
Greg, he keeps so many possessions alive, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And the defense has to be aware of this. When you don't put a body on it, you pay the consequences. They haven't needed him as much as I thought they would tonight.
Under trailing by 20, it's Ariza on the wing. Good work there as it goes. Ariza's got his 2nd bucket of the night.
Well, given a chance to handle, Ariza's showing some creativity right there.
Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock, and James gets it to go.
Big miscommunication on defense. He recognizes it and quickly takes advantage.
Yeah, they're pouring it on right here, trying to give the opposition no light at the end of the time. And come on, Hall of Fame athleticism and ability. James has no problem throwing it down in style.
From deep, and he was able to put it up in time, but doesn't fall. And so it's Los Angeles, holding a 22-point lead as the quarter wraps up. The scoring has been tremendous, and they are... And let's take now this moment to bring up our State Farm assist of the game.
And I'm glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call court vision.
Well, it's also called making a good read, understanding where everyone is and taking full advantage. Fantastic.
And there may not be a lot of drama down the stretch as we head into the fourth quarter, but stranger things have happened. And Oklahoma City, look at who they've got to start the fourth quarter. They've got Jackson. Mike Muscala out there with Horford. Then it's George Hill, and it's Dort in at the shooting guard position. Greg, we are in an era of positionless basketball. And we know the All-Star game now has a 2 backcourt, 3 frontcourt position as opposed to 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center when you're voting. Should they get rid of those designations entirely?
I tell you what, I think you could make a strong case for that. When you go back to last season, many felt Jimmy Butler got robbed of a starting spot. I think listen, this is the fans' vote. Why not the 5 top vote getters? I don't care if they're 4 guards. If the 5 players that the fans want to see the most play a certain position, then so be it. You know, they're not going to play all 48 minutes. You're still going to have your 7 other spots to kind of balance out the roster. I say just let the fans tell you the 5 they want to see, and let's go play.
Fouled on the shot and picks up 2 points. So 1 free throw coming up.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Free throw good, LeBron.
For all those people waiting for LeBron to start showing his age, you might not want to start holding your breath. This man's got a lot of time left in his game.
And the basket by Hill. 60 seconds off the clock here in the fourth. LeBron drives in and foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. And he knocks down the first one.
In many ways, he feels like he's playing his best ball right now when you talk about LeBron James.
And both free throws, good for James. And with the frequency of 3-point shots skyrocketing, Greg, does the drastic change concern you? And should something be done to lessen the dependence these teams have on 3?
It's crazy. I mean, we're starting to see teams take more 3s than 2s. You know, some have said maybe limit fouls on 3-pointers to only 2 free throws. That might eliminate some of the flopping on those long-range attempts, but I really feel like this is the evolution of the game, and that 3 is going to be vital.
The agility, the instincts, the power. I mean, James remains a dominant figure on both ends of the floor.
Hill dishes to Muscala. Outside, Horford. Back to Muscala. And he slams it one-handed.
Such incredible hops for a center. Look, it allows him to hold his own against any other 5 in the league.
Feeds it to James. James outside. Outside Hill. Fades away. Rebounded by the Lakers.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Oh, you gotta love the intelligence of James. He understands the game like few others. I mean, spots the open man with ease.
LeBron against Hill. You know, you look at the 2020 class for the Basketball Hall of Fame, Greg, some great names, headlined by Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant. I mean, historic players.
And all the more emotional, Kevin, having Kobe enshrined after his tragic passing. But when you look at the accomplishments of this class, arguably the most decorated that the Hall of Fame has ever seen.
And Greg, you've gotten a bird's eye view, you've gotten a front court view, you've had a chance to be alongside these Hall of Fame players.
Incredible talents, great people, and truly they've been terrific ambassadors for our game.
Here's James. Good, nice job down low. James has got 10 points here in the second half.
Determination and focus inside. Not a lot you can do against James once he gets the ball right there.
Here's Gilgeous-Alexander, and there's another one for the Thunder.
Coming off a big game, his confidence couldn't be higher, and Coach knows it.
And that's why they're running plays for him. They're getting him the ball and letting him go to work.
And out of bounds as the Thunder gain possession. Oklahoma City has gotten off to an 0-for-2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Outside Williams. Gilgeous-Alexander against James, and he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
And even if Gilgeous-Alexander isn't the fastest guy out there, he stays in balance. It helps him to be effective on his drives.
A bit under 3.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth. Miller, no luck.
The D hanging tough and stopping what would normally have been an easy layup.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Lakers.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And so with this, they'll end up with their second win on the year.
And this is a great way for them to kick off this season series. 2 more games ahead, and they've taken the mental advantage with this win tonight.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for LeBron.
What a teammate he was tonight, setting guys up for layups and open jumpers on what seemed like every possession.
Look, it's always great to get into a rhythm, but do it when it matters.
Yeah, it has to be frustrating to catch fire when the game is already over. I mean, this is not the outcome they wanted.
And credit the whole team. It was a focused, concerted effort to put this one away.
Yeah, I love how they played for one another out there. No signs of selfishness. They're just a total team effort.
And this is Gilgeous-Alexander's responsibility to find his guys when they're open.
Here's Davis. They swipe it. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. Gilgeous-Alexander with it. He's picked up by LeBron, and there's another one for the Thunder.
It's just been one of those nights from he got into the floor of the game and has not lost his touch.
LeBron drives in, and yes, it's good. LeBron's got 35 in the game.
They made the most of their opportunities, looking comfortable and locked in throughout the night.
That's why they're in the driver's seat right now, looking to put this one away.
Passes it to Davis. James outside. And so it's the Lakers taking care of business here. They won this game going away. They were the better basketball team by far tonight.
And you got to commend this sort of dominance, particularly here at home. It's a great feeling when you play almost a perfect game and to have that crowd be so pumped up.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.